Okay, so now I've shown you how to create a vector image using Adobe Illustrator. So now we're going to create a raster image or modify a raster image using Adobe Photoshop. So I already took these headshots. Let's see, I think they're right here. Yeah, so here are the photos that I already took of myself just using my computer's camera, okay? So I'm going to adjust these images. And I think the easiest way to do that is just take the image, right click on it, and once you have Adobe Photoshop installed on your computer, you should be able to open with Adobe Photoshop. So I'll do that. And I'm just going to wait for this to open up. We're going to use a tool called the background eraser tool. We'll start with just the regular eraser and then the background erase tool. Take just a minute. It's a pretty robust program, Adobe Photoshop, so it'll take a minute for your computer to open up. Okay, so here it is. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom right of the screen, and I'll need this up. So down at the bottom, you're going to see the actual picture right here with a lock next to it. And then down below that, you're going to see this trash can image, the piece of paper, a folder, okay, a link image like that. I want you to go to the piece of paper with the folder, with the corner folded up, and just click on that. And that's going to make a new layer. Okay, I want you to click on this lock next to your photo to unlock it so that you can edit that. And then you're going to go over here to the left-hand side of your screen. And so there's these 4 arrows. This is like a rectangle tool. There's a little lasso, then a brush. This is cropping. This is a color selector. This is going to look kind of like a Band-Aid, another brush. Okay, go all the way down until you get to this one right here. Okay, this is your eraser tool, and click on that. When you go over to your photo now, you'll see that the eraser, if you look on here, it's not very big. Once again, I can use those bracket keys. So use that closing bracket key to make the size of your eraser bigger. And I'm going to make it pretty big at first. And I'm just going to click and erase. You can just drag around your photo, or you could just click one at a time. So this is me clicking one at a time. And then if I click and just hold down and drag, then I can erase just like an eraser dragging around the screen. So I'm going to go around my head first. Okay, now I need to make the eraser a little smaller, so I'm going to use that opening bracket key, make the eraser smaller, and continue around. Like that, okay? So now I've erased a lot of the background, but I want to do an even better job. So I'll continue to just sort of click. I'll probably reduce the size of my brush in just a second here by using, again, the opening bracket key. Same key that we talked about in the previous video on Illustrator. I'm just going to kind of trace around this image of my head. Get rid of all the background stuff that I can. Okay? This is detailed work. I really actually enjoy it. You can sort of get lost in it when you sit around doing this for, hours at a time. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of a lot of the stuff around my head, but I don't want to erase all these little, like the hairs, that are kind of fly away off the top of my head, because that really kind of adds some life to things. So I'm going to go back over to where the eraser tool is, and I'm going to click and hold down there, and 3 different tools are going to come up. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select the background eraser tool that's got the little pair of scissors next to it. And you can see there's a crosshair in the image of my eraser circle now. Whatever color that crosshair is on is the color that will be erased by the tool. So when I put the crosshair over this gray and click, see, it erases the gray, but it doesn't erase the other colors. So it leaves my hair alone as I work my way around. This tool can be kind of imperfect sometimes when you're using it. And so then you might need to change the tolerance up here. Right now I have the tolerance at 6%, which is working pretty good. But if you're having trouble making it work, you might want to raise or lower the tolerance and see if you get better results. So I'm just going to kind of continue around the edge here and use the tool to clean out this area so that when I export the ping, they'll actually be, it'll make the hair look more lifelike and just add a lot of character to the ping. Okay, so I've worked my way around this stuff. I'm going to go back to the regular eraser tool because there's that little bit there that I want to get over here. I'm not like the way that looks. So I'm going to zoom in by hitting Control and plus or Command and plus on the Mac. And now I can be in a little bit closer and see. I'm just going to drag around the edge here like this. Okay. And I see I've got a little fuzz there. Just keep going around and getting rid of all this stuff. Just like that. Okay. Might go back to the background eraser tool. Just see how when I click in here, just erases the background color and will leave the things I want. Just keep working through, and you know, it just depends on how much of a OCD person you are about how long you'll spend doing this. I could sit here and do this forever, but I won't because we need to move on to the next part of the video. Okay, so there you go. That's the gist of what I want you to do. It's not perfect. See, it's hard for me to even set this aside until I think it looks perfect, but that's how much we're going to do for now. So then to export this as a ping, I'm going to go up to File, Export, Export As. Click on that. Then this dialog box will come up. Okay, we're right here. Format needs to be ping. So up here on the right where it says Format JPEG, click the down arrow and select PNG. Okay, and see, you want transparency clicked because that gives you transparency behind the image, and we want transparency. So then I'll click on Export All. And I'm going to change this to Headshot A. I'll do underscore A. Headshot underscore A. And then I want to make sure I set this to where I can find it, so I'm going to put it on my desktop. And I'm going to click Export. Okay, and now it has. So when I reduce Photoshop and look at my desktop, there's Headshot A. If I look at it in Preview, you'll see all this gray behind it. That's transparent background. If it was not transparent, if it was a JPEG, the background would be white. Okay, but with this, it came out this way. So I just want you to do that with Adobe Photoshop and do that for 3 headshots. Okay, and the way that I save those in that smiley photo, if you go over here, here's my headshots. And double click on that, and that was the larger photos. Actually, I think I saved the finished images under this one called Faces. So if I double click on that, you look in here, there are my 3 headshots that I've removed the backgrounds from, okay? So that's how you create your pings in raster images. So now we have vector images, which are the smiley faces, and you might choose to do stars, the way I showed you in the other video, or you may choose to do smiley faces. Whatever you come up with in Adobe Illustrator will be fine. And then the same thing over here. I like the idea of you using the headshots of yourself, but you could use other images if you want to. I prefer the headshots though, because then I know they're original images that you used with your phone. Any images you use, make sure I can tell that you actually didn't just take those off the internet, that you actually made them and altered them yourself inside of Photoshop. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take these images and put them into your Android project.